at ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Without notice, licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guests and repeat offenders, both of them. Mary Walters, welcome.
Good morning.
Samantha Rawley, welcome.
Good morning.
Both ladies from Realty Pro 100. I think I got a big old echo in my ears right now, although sometimes that's just because of the hollowness between them, but that's a different story. Moving right along, let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. There's some interesting celebrations today, and I thought that this was yesterday, but maybe this is every day for me. It is National Eat What You Want Day. I just, having beaten anorexia, that seems like a normalcy for me. Let's take a look at today. Is National Twilight Zone Day. I don't even want to go there. That one could get me in trouble. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing, because that seems a little bit safer. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it has not been a good morning for the Dow Jones. It's down 144 points, recovering just a little bit. The S&P 500 down 6.70. Oil down 19 cents a barrel. We've been watching the oil prices lately. There might be a bit of a change in oil, being that we might actually be able to use some gasoline nowadays. And if you watch some of the planes and what's going on with some of the airline stocks, it looks like people are looking at more driving again. But, you know, we're in Calizuela, so we don't get a big benefit from what's going on in the gasoline. We got $1.84.7 is the national average on a tank of gas, or a gallon of gas. In Calizuela, we are at $2.76.3. I think probably the only state that's higher than us is probably going to be Hawaii, and they produce a lot more oil than we do in Calizuela anyway. Oklahoma, cheapest gas in the land, 147.6. So if you want to get gas there, I just heard about a great car just recently. If you want to call me about it, think about this. How'd you like a relatively new Toyota for free? Think about that one. There is a specific type of car. I just heard about it over the weekend. Go over to, I better not tell them. They don't need the advertising. $15,000 for the car, and you get a $15,000 card, a fuel card. That's a hydrogen car. $15,000 fuel card to go with it. And that seems like my kind of pricing. I don't know if I could fit in the car, but that would be a different story. Let's take a look at the 10-year Treasury. It's at 0.704 is the yield on a 10-year Treasury right now. Germany, giving you your money for 10 years, you don't get all of it back. They've got a negative yield on their 10-year. Japan, it's been about 30 years, and they're finally at a positive interest rate, although it is 0.01. So at least it's not negative like Germany, right? I mean, there's got to be something positive to say about that. Mortgage rates, that's a fascinating story in and of itself. We watch those for you all the time. Cash out refinances are just about gone. We had some text messaging. One of our team members over the weekend text messaging with the world famous Mark Calabria. He doesn't understand the fact that interest rates jumped by 5% last Thursday on cash out refinances. 5%. So think about this. On Tuesday, Wednesday, you could get a cash out refinance for, it wasn't a pretty price. It was in the 4s. Well, by Friday, it was in the 9s. Think about that one. Oh! Well, basically, it's all a concern of first payment default. And it fascinates me how sometimes when you get these overreactions in any kind of a market, it makes absolutely no sense. I had one of our private clients call me. They've got an $800,000 house. They're looking for a $360,000 mortgage, and there's concern over default. Really? But nobody in their right mind is going to default with $500,000 in equity. I just throw that out there. You're going to beg, borrow. You might even steal to make sure that you don't lose $500,000 in equity. But I digress. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the marketplace today. More news from President Trump implying that President Obama was linked in the Flynn investigation. Holy cow, I got this phone going crazy on me all morning today. President Obama implicated in the Michael Flynn setup. Mike, can you imagine that? The FBI setting up a 3-star general? That's going to be a fascinating story to watch. 1,900 former prosecutors. Notice I say the word former prosecutors. Now looking for Attorney General William Barrs to resign. Do you think that's going to happen anytime soon? I don't think so. That's probably
You know better than that.
not going to happen. I just go on and watch what's going on. But the Durham investigation, that is going on. Watch what happens there. That's going to be a fascinating story. Watching to see what happens with the Durham investigation, looking into the cause of all of these investigations that have been going on for the last 3 years. And I did find a way to be able to get rid of a lot of people. I like to cause some trouble every once in a while, maybe only when I'm awake. But if you're want to really thin out your Facebook friends, maybe even some family, get a face mask like I just got. I'm going to try and put this, I'm not going to put it on, but I'll show it to you. I will tell you about it. I got to get my screen up here so I can actually watch the monitor to see if I've put it on properly. I'm not going to wear it because it's hard to talk with a face mask, but I'll just show it to you. I think there it is. You can see that Trump 2020 face mask. Yes. Wear that, and I guarantee to thin the herd, right? I mean, I think I might have lost at least one Facebook friend on here over the weekend. There might be more, but you got to see some of the comments that I get. That is fascinating. Did have an interesting time over the weekend. It was fascinating to be watching. We went easy for me to say. Went and rented a Duffy for my wife for Mother's Day. Went out on the Newport area in the bay there, Balboa Bay, Balboa Island. Fascinating. I didn't see one flag flying promoting Vice President Biden. I did see a lot of Trump flags, though, and wearing a Trump 2020 hat didn't cause any problems for us there. But nothing for Biden. I wonder, maybe he's not allowed here. Maybe he forgot to print the flags. Maybe that's it. He forgot to print the flags. Easy for me to say once again. Stock futures, they didn't look good overnight. They did not follow through well during the day. That's Under Armour. I don't know why. Nobody wants apparently to be wearing Under Armour gear. Their stock was down 4% early today. Tesla, have you been watching that story? Now, Elon Musk, I don't know if you followed this one. I mean, I can't even remember the name that he gave his child. UAAE12 or something like that. Maybe it's a model of his car or something. It's a child. That's what he promoted. Obviously, you know that that's illegal to use as a name on a California birth certificate. It's got to be all letters. You can't use numerals in a name in a California birth certificate. I just learned that one. I wouldn't have tried it, but I didn't know it. But he's going to go against Calizuela. Did you hear that? He's going to start building his cars in Fremont again. And then when they came after him, he says, you know something? I think I'm just going to take the whole company out of Calizuela. Now, Tesla's the only car company remaining here. Toyota moved, Ford never came here. All of them are gone. Right? Tesla might be the next one, and he's got a big incentive to make sure. Apparently, he's a little cash poor right now, looking to sell a few houses. He's a billionaire, and if his stock price stays relatively flat, he makes another $770 million. Not bad. I don't know that I'd want to pay his taxes on it, but I would take the leftovers. I would even take the rounding error. That's just a tad bit of money. Moving on, let's see what else is going on in the market today. Richard Branson preparing to sell up to $504 million of his stake in space company Virgin Galactica. How do you social distance in a space capsule? I just wonder about that one. I have a weird mind. Sometimes these things go a little odd. Apple planning to reopen some of its U.S. stores, not in Calizuela, Idaho, South Carolina, Alabama, and Alaska. You're going to have your temperature checked before you go in. They're going to limit the number of people inside at one time. Probably limit the people to about 1,000 or less. I digress. Disney, yes, they opened their theme park in Shanghai today. Yes, they opened probably 20 hours ago. That would be their Monday in Shanghai. Sold out right away, although they did limit the park to 25% of its normal occupancy, but they did sell out. So that's going to be interesting to watch how that goes and what happens with the parks here in America. Probably guess, if I was just a betting person, and I am, I would say that Florida will probably open at least a month or two before California. You know, that's back in America. We're in Calizuela. They'll take a little longer here, although I do have some good friends at Disney, so I better watch what I have to say there. Moving right along, Dr. Anthony Fauci. This is going to be interesting to watch how the grandstanding goes in the Senate this week. So Dr. Fauci is supposed to be testifying in the Senate. Doesn't want to go to the party at the House of Representatives, although they're still on vacation. You know, they get paid and they get to stay home. Although might be a good thing because they can't screw anything up when they're at home, or not too much. But Fauci is going to testify in front of the Senate tomorrow, but they're going to be at social distancing. It's going to be on a Zoom call. And Fauci apparently was in contact with somebody who had the virus. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about all of that, because we have seen now that the virus has hit the White House. Interesting information right there. Why would this is another interesting story. I couldn't figure why they would do this. Amazon looking at purchasing the movie theater operator AMC Entertainment. Why would they want to do that? I mean, are the movie theaters that busy? I'm not a movie person in the first place, but they don't seem to be that busy right now. We'll continue watching that to see what goes on there. Got a lot to chat about today. We are going to talk about what's happening in the real estate market. There is a lot happening. You might be surprised at some of the statistics that we're going to share with you today. Home values, are they going to go up or down in 2020? We'll talk about that, how to improve your credit score. I'm going to give you 5 quick fixes today to talk about your credit score. That is always a big topic here on Ron Siegel Radio. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to give me a call, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with the team. They will work on the program for you. Here's the key that you got to remember anytime you're dealing in mortgages. Strategy beats rate every single time. Strategy beats rate every single time. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 122 points. The NASDAQ showing on my screen here is up 47, up 48. That seems a little odd to me, but that's what two different services are telling me right now. The S&P 500 down 7, the 10-year Treasury yield up 3, mortgage-backed securities. Ooh, this one's a little bit ugly. It's down 20 basis points, means interest rates are up. Ow! Not a good sign right there. Why is all of this happening? Well, I told you a little bit earlier about the text messaging going back and forth between our team and Mark Calabria, the head of the FHFA. A little bit out of connection with what's going on, really. Now, he does head up the FHFA, which oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So got a little clout there. He answers basically to nobody. He is appointed by the president. He's confirmed by the Senate, but never has to answer to anybody after that. Can only be removed for cause by the president. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Why are the markets doing what they're doing? Stocks lower on mixed reports from some states reopening in the U.S. States like Mississippi reporting an uptick in the cases. It's going to be the headline of the news, especially here in Calizuela, because they're going to say, well, the cases of virus are up. Well, they're not going to talk about the fact that the cases of the virus are obviously going to be up when they continue to test more people. It's got to happen that way because even if it's still less than 1% or give or take, well, the numbers are going to go up. Now, I did notice, I think we're all the way up to 75 deaths in Orange County now. Every death, don't come sending me the messages today that I'm insensitive. Yes, every death does matter, right? One is too many. But 75 deaths, I think there's going to be more suicides than there are deaths from the virus. We've talked about that in the past. We understand those things are just historical numbers. Now I had two different people tell me that they've had folks step out in front of their car. They believe it was intentionally. So those, and these are just numbers that go on all the time when we have a massive spike in unemployment. I hear people talking now, the gravity of the situation. Now, I'm blessed, right? I've got a radio program, does pretty well. I've got a lending company. We do pretty well there. We're helping folks get a good pricing on some of these personal needs items. We've been helping a lot of school districts get these things at discounted prices, right? So we can't complain too much, but there are people that are wondering where their next paycheck is coming from, how they're going to put food on the table. We understand that. And some people seem to think that the insurance money is going to help their family in the long run, and I submit it will not. So be careful, talk to people, get out there, reach out, call us, right? I've got plenty of phone lines. My team will take any phone call anytime if we can help somebody. So please don't go to the extremes that we keep hearing about in the marketplace. There are solutions to everything, and just give us a call. We're happy to share. We've got a lot of people with resources. We've got a lot of people that have tools to help folks. I've got a friend of mine just texted me while we're on air. He retired from the SBA. So he's helping a lot of small business owners understand what they're going to need to do as the next steps in the PPP program and the EIDL program as to get these converted from a forwarding of funds, I guess, to getting them dismissed or turned into grants. He knows the terminology. I'm just a radio guy, right? So that's the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. Let's get into our content for today. We are talking with Mary and Samantha. We're going to go over what's going on with an economic recovery. We're talking about real estate today. So we have been chatting quite a bit. We've got the terms of what we get a monthly report. Our friends over at Keeping Current Matters, Steve Harney, David Childers, and the team do a great job of providing us some great data every single month. And we go through the data, and the ladies are kind enough to come in here and help us go through and understand all of this stuff. Financial institutions. So they're at a real estate firm here you're Orange County, I know.
Yes.
Inland Empire?
Yes.
LA County?
Yeah, we serve all of California.
Wow. Oh, okay. All of California. I didn't realize that. I'm just a slow guy here. So tell me what you're seeing. You're on the front lines. We'll get into this. There's two different big issues. There's the one issue. We have these reports that come out, and they talk about the national picture, right? You guys are actually seeing what's on the local picture, right, in the neighborhood. So we're looking at financial institutions calling for a second half recovery. Are you seeing that in a local area? Or is there an uptick in real estate, or is it still flat?
There is in demand a little bit. Demand has been going up. The problem still is with the supply.
Okay. So, and ironically enough, that's been for years now, though, right? I mean, it's been 3-4 years, 5 years. We've been talking about needing more listings. There's people that want to buy houses, but did the supply drop or did demand drop, in the early onset of the pandemic?
It definitely slowed down, yes. And there was a lot of people putting their, active listings on hold and do not show and just waiting to see what was going to happen. So there was a slowdown on the supply as well. Okay, so that means that should be a good sign for pricing then. If we see the supply go down and the demand goes down, right, there shouldn't be a push either way on pricing. Correct.
Okay. So the financial institutions looking for a second half recovery. Do you hear that from people saying, well, I'm going to wait a little while or to buy, to sell? Is that happening? Or are they starting to come back and get a little more time sensitive because we're in that spring season?
Definitely. And the interest rates definitely do help with people coming into the market right now. The people that can buy and need to buy, of course, are always going to buy, and the interest rates are helping drive that demand.
Yeah, the interest rates are really nice right now. They're attractive. Who would have ever thought? I mean, I thought during the Great Recession, when we saw interest rates at 3, 3.25, 3.5, that's going to be a big issue. Now looking at some of the down payment assistance programs at 2 3/4 on a 30-year loan, like that. I mean, you can't afford to rent when you got a 2 3/4 interest rate, right?
Yeah.
And someone's going to give you $25,000 to do it. That's So we got to look at 3 different areas in the marketplace. We're looking at business science, we're looking at health science, and then we got to look at people science. So and then we'll put some of these things on our social media channels. So we're not going to read all these parts of the report. But from an economic standpoint, national level, I don't think is anybody talking about, the economy shutting down and staying shut down? Do you hear that at all?
No.
Now that's the term that the economists use for an L-shaped recovery, right? Cut the economy off and stay down. I would submit that over the weekend, I don't know what your experiences were. I watched it, I was on Balboa Island a lot in the morning, early morning, which I'm an early person, right? So 6 in the morning, there wasn't a lot of people there. But I was there again about 5 in the afternoon, and it was packed. Mm-hmm. Were the areas that you were in yesterday busy?
A little bit. I mean, I saw people on the streets protesting where I was.
Okay.
I didn't see that. Well, I was up home in Palmdale, and there was people out on the streets with their signs protesting that they want the economy back up, and
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want it back because they're fearful, mm-hmm. right? I mean, Palmdale, you've got some manufacturing out there that's a little quiet, mm-hmm. right? So I think isn't Boeing got a big plant out there?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Northrop.
Is it Northrop? Okay, so we are seeing a little bit of demand, and I think that what's been happening is kind of like my belief, my personal opinion. I'll ask yours as well. So I feel that for the last 5-6 weeks, it's kind of like we keep pulling back the rubber band a little bit more every day, okay. Right? And at some point, as soon as that rubber band gets released, right, I don't know that it's gonna skyrocket, but I want to get back to a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm tired of going and takeout and all that stuff, and I know my wife doesn't like to cook it anyway. So, right, are you feeling the same things? I mean, I'm old, so you guys are a bit younger than me. So
I actually saw people in different states on my Instagram, like out on boats and restaurants and things like that, and I got kind of jealous. I mean, that's not fair, but yeah, no, I think everyone's so cooped up, and we all were tired of it. I mean, I even got an invitation on Facebook from someone saying reopen California. It's right. A Facebook page. Uh-huh. So I scrolled through that, and that was interesting too. There's lots going on. People.
I've been invited, but I haven't had time to look at it. Is it crazy?
Yeah, it's
okay.
A show.
So the bottom line here is that people really do want to get back to getting into living, whatever living might mean in the future, mm-hmm. right? I mean, we all know that some of us know that right after 9/11, you guys were probably a little young then, but things changed dramatically.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know what's going to happen with airlines. I did see one airplane, a news story on one airplane, and the media likes to go crazy on this stuff. It was a full plane, right? But I don't know that people are going to want to get on a full plane right now. Mm-hmm. Let me ask your opinions of that, because that's a big issue. Is do you see that people are looking to take a lot of this ultra serious, or is it respect and go about life?
I think there's a big split and a big divide on that. I think you have, the extremes on both sides where people really are taking it very seriously. And then there's the people who are just, so pent up and fed up with it that they're just, disregarding everything completely.
Right.
And what about from the real estate side? What happens? How do you deal with, I guess I got to talk to you about this after we get back. How do you deal with real estate in a social distancing and all this other fascinating thing? So we'll talk about that as well as more of the market report when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We've also got a couple of interesting reports. I think they're interesting, although I'm a little biased because I'm the one that helps put them on in the production meetings. Will home values appreciate or depreciate in 2020? What's your opinion? You can share that with us right there on the stream. Tell us your opinion and how to improve your credit score. 5 fixes. I'll give you those when we come back as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. That digest, it's a real cool little tool. It actually tells you precisely what the county recorder knows about your property. It'll also tell you what the market believes about your property. If you're out shopping for a property, it gives you all the details on that as well. So there's a lot of great information in there. And as always, it is a free tool from your friends right here at Ron Siegel Radio. What will home values appreciate or depreciate in 2020? That's our question for today. I'm just trying to get a couple of maps up or graphs up on the screen for you. I'll see if I can do that. It's always fun when I've got them on my computer here and I'm trying to share that data with you in real time as I try and also give you the report, share that information as well. So let's take a look at the information here. We got a lot of different people that are piping in on this. We'll see what we might be able to share with you as well. Housing market staggered to some degree by the health crisis the country is facing. Some potential purchasers questioning whether home value, I hear this all the time, are home values going to go up? They're going to go down? Should I wait a little bit? And we talked a little bit about this in the last segment about when demand went down, Supply went down. Prices did not go down as much as people might have thought. Price of any item is determined, again, by supply as well as the market's demand for that item. Each month, the National Association of Realtors surveys over 50,000 real estate practitioners about their expectations for home sales prices and market conditions. For the Realtors Confidence Index, their latest edition sheds some light on the relationship between seller traffic, which is supply, buyer traffic, demand during this pandemic. Buyer demand, I think I've got this map on the screen for you right now. The buyer demand was created after asking the question, how would you rate buyer traffic in your area? It's a fascinating little map. All it looks like is the United States to me. The darker the blue, the stronger the demand for homes is in that area. The survey shows that 34 of the 50 U.S. states, buyer demand is now strong. 16 of the 50 states have a stable demand. The seller supply, this index also asks, how would you rate seller traffic in your area? And I'll see if I can get that chart to show up here for you as well. It might take a little bit to get that to populate on the screen. Did we get the seller traffic? Hasn't come up yet that I am seeing, but I've got that map up there. My computer's going a little slow. So give me a second here to bring it all together. Come on, computer. Did we get the map come up? Seller traffic. Okay, that map did come up for you. So you can see that if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, you've got that. I try and give you the bird's eye view for our radio listeners. So let's take a look and see what this one shows. 46 states, Washington, D.C. reported weaker seller traffic. 3 states reported stable traffic. Wyoming, Virginia, Louisiana, they all have stable traffic. And as my screen keeps going by me and doing funny little things, I'll just post the report there, and you can take a look at that for yourself because it's doing some fascinating things right here as we chat. I'm going to close that one for you, and we'll get some other things crazy. When you look at the report, it's on Ron Siegel Radio on all of our socials. You can actually see the full report there, and it actually has some of the quotes going from some of the various economists from the different services that we use, giving you that data all the time. So before the break, we were chatting a little bit about real estate during this time. How do you show it? How do you show it safely? What's the consumer's thought? What are the seller's thoughts? So being that I sit here in an office talking on radio, I don't deal with that too much, but the ladies here, they know more about this than I do. So what's going on in the world with real estate? Is it safe to show? Is anybody out show? How do you show a piece of property now? Are people just buying it through Zoom?
So my mom is actually an agent as well.
Okay.
And she's still showing property, still getting listings. It's funny because my stepdad actually complained. He was like, now I actually have to work, so thank you. But they have like 4 listings right now. I think that people are getting now this is just my personal theory, that they're getting so cooped up in their house, they're finding things that they don't like. They're like, this bedroom, I want more space, I want less space, yada, yada, because we're all so focused in our house. I know I am. I mean, I've changed my bedroom. I know Mary's changed her bedroom. We're all going crazy here. But I think that everyone is so, like I said, we're all just going nuts and cooped up in our spaces, and they're wanting to get out and sell or buy.
I know I've heard a lot of people talking about massive lines at Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yes. Have
right?
you not been?
No.
Oh.
I don't even know what end of a screwdriver to use. So it's, I mean,
I don't either, but I still go to Home Depot.
I did hear somebody say that they're going to have church services at Home Depot next week, just because they can have 500 people there and the churches are only allowed 10. I just throw that out there, but that's a different story. Okay, so we are seeing the listings are coming on.
Yeah, and buyer demands are still there. I mean, she just showed a property yesterday, and she went with her gloves and her mask and stayed 6 feet apart, and that's the way it is right now.
I had heard somewhere that the agents are opening up the property, then buyers are going in on their own.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're supposed to do, right?
I haven't heard too much of that. Of course, if it is an owner-occupied home, the seller should not be home. They should be out of the property. I believe what they have right now is no more than 2 people in the buying party.
Yes.
So it can be the agent and 2 other people, and they all need to stay the social distancing.
Yeah.
And if there is more people, they sort of have to take turns coming in and out of the house and circling in it.
Right.
That would make sense. I had wondered at one point when I first heard these things that they were sending the buyers in on their own. I said, boy, that would pose a bit of a security
Yeah,
problem.
as an agent, I wouldn't do that personally.
Now, that would be a little bit of an interesting issue right there. So we are seeing, I'm looking at one of the reports here. It looks like real estate showings in North America, they took a big drop all the way up until the 22nd of March. The last 4 weeks, they're heading way north. So you're seeing that, Sam, with your mom is seeing that in her properties, and your offices are seeing that as well.
Yeah.
So everybody's starting to get a little involved in it.
Yes.
Home ownership rate. Now, this is another fascinating one that I saw here, that the home ownership rate going back from 63.5% to 65.3%. Now, you two both are of the millennial era, right? So is it getting quicker to go out and look? Or people, now we know that one of the issues that drives real estate, now we're looking at the real estate rate 63.5 and going to 65.3 is where we are now. So we were down at 63.5 in 2016. We peaked out in 2005 at 69.1. Now, one of the things that we definitely know just from statistics, I don't do any personal studies, is that we'll probably have a significant uptick of births at the end of the year.
Yeah, we will.
Right? Now, do you think that's going to correlate into young people wanting to go out and get their own house before then?
Possibly, again, it all comes down to the affordability, and a lot of millennials, I think, are stuck in that place where they have so much student loan debt, they don't fit that affordability factor.
Or they're just not well versed in it, I guess. I don't think that we're very educated as millennials on housing and the market and down payments and things like that. If you're not in the industry, I feel like they don't really dive deep into it. That's just my...
No, that's good. That's good to know, because I mean, and you know something, I can only talk about it from the standpoint of having 3 kids that are all in the millennial area, and they have no clue about that. I've been doing this for 30 years, and they're still, I really have to have a job to get a house.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people don't understand those things, but we do know about rents, right?
Of course.
And we're still seeing, I'm looking at this chart on rent. I wish I could find stocks that look like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, the rents going back to 1988 they rarely took a dip, right? Maybe a little bit in 2010. They leveled out a little. 2005 they leveled, but I mean, it's a great place to be. And I know one of the areas that your offices deal with a lot has to do with equity, the amount of equity people have in their properties. Right? Are you talking to more and more people about the equity in their properties? Do you hear that conversation around your offices a lot?
We haven't. We have the conversation as a leadership team to our agents, almost on a weekly basis. We know a lot of our agents are now taking that conversation more to the clients and, focusing on people with equity, because there is a lot of equity that people are just sitting on out there that they're not taking advantage of.
Yep.
So what are they doing with it? What is your promotion to them or suggestion to them to do with that equity?
I think the best thing for them to do is leverage that equity to then go buy another property.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially when we looked at that chart about rent, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you look at rents keep going up no matter what. And we look at the amount of equity that people have in their homes. All 58.7% of all homes in America have at least 60% equity.
It's crazy.
Right? Isn't that now what does that tell you about especially for younger people? Right, what does that tell you about your best investment? Right?
Home.
Yeah, get that home, right? I mean, if you look at this and you start saying Americans sitting tremendous equity, 42.1% of all homes are free and clear, which I think is completely foolish. That's my opinion, because your home equity makes you absolutely nothing as a rate of return, always a zero rate of return on home equity. And if you go out and buy another piece of property that's cash flowing, right, you've got 2 pieces of property appreciating for you. All right, so we're going to continue our conversation with the ladies here. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, I've got some tips for you on improving your credit scores. That's always a big topic that we deal with on Ron Siegel Radio. A lot of people hear about credit scores. I get a lot of myths. A lot of people are completely confused about credit or have a lot of erroneous information about credit. So we might give you a few tips to help you. And we're going to also continue our conversation on the monthly market report, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Boy, Alex, I'm sure glad it took you long enough to get here this morning. You must have been standing there in line at Home Depot. I guess that's what you meant by this. That you were. I don't even know what to do at Home Depot. What do you get at Home Depot? I went there for firewood the other day. Maybe that was. Isn't that what you get at Home Depot? I guess that goes when you don't know what to do with the screwdriver. You don't know what to do with Home Depot. I digress. Your Credit Matters segment today, again, brought to you by our friends at creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solutions for you. I'm going to tell you this right off. I say this many, many times. I've been looking at credit reports for many, many decades, probably longer than I want to think about. And I've never, ever seen one that is completely accurate. So let's look at some items that might help you for correcting or getting your credit score up. This might happen if you've been declined for credit. Perhaps you're hoping to better terms on a home loan. We do look at those things when the home loan team is working there. Car autos, they look at this also, although I did hear recently because of auto sales being down so much, And one of the companies just automatically increased people by one tier. I don't know what that means other than a good sales pitch, but that's just what they told them anyway. So contrary to what some people may think, a credit card does not happen magically. You gotta pay them. You gotta look at them. I've told you before, one of the biggest tips, a lot of people don't realize the correct way of paying a credit card. And don't tell me by check. You know, that's old school. Don't even go on the bank app. Most people pay their credit cards, I would say 90% pay their credit cards the wrong way. They look at it and they say, okay, I got my statement, I paid it. Wonderful, you've just cost yourself points. Go online, look at your credit card statement or your credit card balance before the statement closing date. Pay it before the statement closing date. You just make a small payment before the due date and watch how quickly your credit scores jump up by making 2 payments a month, once before the statement closing date, and then just a little payment before the due date. Watch how quickly that happens. Review your credit reports, dispute any inaccuracies. Don't push the dispute button on the bureaus. That's their ruse to make their job easier and not give you any satisfaction. Number 2, pay down your debt. You got to guess that one. Number 3, this is one that a lot of people worry about. They say, well, don't apply for new credit. It doesn't hurt you when you apply for credit from several people in the same industry. So if in a short period of time you apply for credit from 2 or 3 mortgage lenders or 2 or 3 auto companies, FICO says that's due diligence. That's not going to hurt your credit scores. I hear people all the time, well, I don't want to run my credit because it's going to hurt my score. Well, if you had an 850 credit score, which is perfect, credits, the inquiries only accounts for 10% of your score. So that'll bring you down to 800 if you do a lot of credit inquiries. Don't worry about that. Don't close existing credit cards. That can hurt your score as well, especially if you're closing a real old card that has a high limit and a low balance. That will hurt your score. And one that can help you a bit is becoming an authorized user on somebody else's card. Don't go racking up the bill on them, please. They might not like that too well. That's the Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. We're going to continue our conversation this morning, chatting about the monthly market information on what is happening in real estate, how the economy now, usually we just talk about the stats of real estate. Right now, because of what's going on, there's a lot more issues in real estate than we have to look at more economics. And I do remind you of the Doty Law of Economics. He is the great professor over at Chapman University. He says, if an economist ever tells you something that they have 40% certainty on, that means they know absolutely nothing. So let's take a look at this one. Earlier we were talking about the idea with the ladies about people needing a job to be able to buy a house. Well, we've seen almost 30 million job losses. But the one thing that we can say from the chart that they sent us is, even though it hurts, right? Job losses for everybody hurts. We don't relish that. But look at the chart from March 28th to May 2nd. The only thing we can say there is it's going in the right direction, right? From 6.9 million job losses the week of March 28th. Last week it was 3.2 million. We're anticipating this week by about 2 million. Used to be that 200,000 was a big number, right? Now that's a rounding number in these things, right? Unbelievable. So, and here's the areas, because one of the things that we're going to talk about, and I want to see about what your sense is on the streets, is right, the breakdown of who's losing their jobs, right? And we see the chart here from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and we're going to share this chart on our social media channels because we've actually changed the names from what the BLS tells us, because they say hospitality or accommodations, right, is what they call servers and bartenders, right? 37.6%. We talked about that earlier. That's a group that's going to come back, right?
Right.
Retail, 10.2%. I don't know if that one's going to come back as quickly, but they're going to come back to some level. Temporary services, that's where people are going when we first start opening up. We call temporary help, right? Doctors' offices, I think they'll come back. Unless we're going to find a way to stop getting sick, they're going to come back. Manufacturing, we already know about Sammy, this one might be idea for you. 5.8% childcare.
Yep, that's coming back.
There we go. Right, I mean, that one. There's a lot of moms and dads out there saying that one can't come back quick enough. But let's take a look at the next chart, though. Basically, what that's telling us is that a massive amount of people are coming back pretty quick. Right? Are you hearing that with your friends and people you're out talking with as well?
Yeah, definitely.
That that's like that rubber band we talked about earlier. So let's take a look at some of again, now, I know that some people think, maybe they know that I'm a bit old. I don't remember the Great Depression, right? You guys probably don't. You guys basically barely remember the Great Recession, right? But I mean, you look at what they're talking about in these charts here, looking like we're going to come back pretty quick from what most of the big companies are telling us, right?
Right.
They got this little screen over there. I can't even see the screen that they're looking at, right? Talk about some of these issues. Housing supply. Historically, now, what is your sense here? Because we're talking here, this comes from Mark Fleming at First American. He's telling us the housing supply is at historically low levels. House price growth is likely to slow, but it's not likely to go negative. Are you seeing supply at a low level? Is it coming back online? Or where do you see, and what do you see in the local market?
I would say yes, it's slowly starting to come back, but just not as quickly as demand.
Correct.
Demand is still outpacing the supply coming back.
Yep.
So if demand is outpacing the supply, that means we should start seeing price increases. Are you seeing that?
A little bit.
Multiple offers on the same property?
Yep, still having that.
That's a good thing, right? So if, and again, I'm going to share with you, there's a lot of consumers out there saying, well, I want to place an offer, a lowball offer, because they think that they're going to get some screaming deal. Sounds like that's really not going to be the case.
No.
So one of the issues right there means you got to really have a good agent to be helping on both sides, the guiding, to steering the ship.
Of course.
Right. So that's one of the big issues that we like to talk about all the time is make sure you get professional guidance. Don't go try and put your house on the market by yourself. Days on market, are you seeing houses sell real quick, or are they taking a little time in the local market?
Very fast.
Very quickly. Almost every single listing we have, in a couple days, it's pending.
Yep.
Does that come from pricing it properly, marketing it properly?
All of the above.
All of the above. So we're back at the issue that you've got to know what you're doing to get things done. Okay, that's some good information right there. I think we got all of the slides that were in our conversation today. Distressed properties, are you seeing that at all?
I haven't. Yeah.
No.
So where everyone's talking about, okay, and that probably goes back to our conversation earlier about equity. My people are not going into foreclosure and short sale.
Right.
Not yet, at least, with everything with the forbearance and everything. Until that really catches up with them, not yet.
So you think it might come?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to watch for that. We'll have that. Maybe that'll be an issue that we have to talk about on our next next month's report. Great information. Appreciate you sharing what's. We can get all the local, the national reports are all really simple to get. Getting the insight of millennials and what's going on actually in the local markets. You can listen to the news. I'll tell you this right out. I present to you the national information. You can listen to that all the time. You can get that on any news station. You've got to talk to professionals who are out there doing it day in, day out to get what's happening in your marketplace. Right? That's why we ask ladies to come in here. And as always, we ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Steve who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tides that I tried to swim against put me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg